So I guess we
Alrighty.
can get started by doing introductions, right? Names and where you're from and what you do.
Me?
Yes, you can start.
Yeah. Nice.
So my name is William Brosnan. I'm from Ireland. I work as a bartender, but basically since COVID, well, even before COVID, I was interested in DJing. I used to go back to my cousin's house, mess around on his DJM 800 and CDJ 1000s. So I decided during COVID, I was sick of the gaming part. So I was like, I'll invest in a controller. No, the controller that I got was a DDJ 200, which you know what that's like, I think.
It's a wee baby. Wee baby.
It's a wee baby, exactly. Mm-hmm. Then I got the upgrade to the DDJ 800. Now, the DDJ 800 is a good controller, but what got me peeved with it was the capacitive jogs. Now, it's touch capacitive, so even if you just put your finger there, it stops. And that used to screw me the hell over. You remember that, Foxy?
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
So that's when I got this baby. Now, it's been through the wars. There's only 3 and 4 right now. 1 popped not too long ago, actually, but 2 broke there maybe 2 years ago. I had it for 3 years.
Yeah, that was the Fader incident.
Mm-hmm.
Which we can get into a little bit
later
down the line.
Oh.
Yeah. But yes, this is Will Brosnan.
The world has rats.
And yeah, and his beautiful girl, the Pioneer 1000. And on basics. Exactly. And on the other side, Basic, if you want to make introductions.
Yes. Absolutely. Hi, Alice.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. First time we actually chatted.
Nice to meet you.
Want to give a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name, I'm AliceIsAlive, and yeah, I'm a DJ and VTuber, as well as as well as musician, and yeah, I've been doing the madness like all my heart, like maybe about like best part, or like just over a decade now.
Nice.
And yeah, it's like kind of started off with performing live music, and then I went into DJing with my first ever like a gig being London Comic Con, which is like
awesome.
the equivalent of New York Comic Con for my folks across the pond there. And yeah, we just kind of went from there. I've been DJing on and off over the past decade. But then I'd say in the last couple of years, I've kind of gone into it a lot more. I've definitely deep dived into it more, especially with the opportunity to DJ in VR, which essentially opened me up to bedroom DJing and DJing in VR again and live on Twitch, and kind of gave me like a more outlet. And for me, but then also I've been able to kind of like translate that all back into IRL DJing as well, where I'm an alternative DJ.
Nice.
As well as run my own events and clubs club nights as well.
Awesome. Very cool. That's good stuff. I think that's really interesting that you said you started in person, then transitioned to VR DJing, which I think is an unusual. I guess I shouldn't say unusual. I've come from a lot of like the new generation of DJs where like people are like looking out. Like MX is teaching a class here at the Faceless for people looking to go out into the world to start DJing, because I think a lot of us kind of get started here in our little safe bubble. And then started.
Yeah, I'd say for me, like going on the alternative side of things as well, it was like and talking about opportunities, because for me being an alternative DJ is almost like a very different space compared to like the regular the more common DJs who do genres more like drum and bass or house and such, because for especially at least here in the UK, there are clubs, but there's not as many opportunities because the few clubs there are about, they usually, well, like 99% of the time, they will already have their own resident DJ, so they'll never really take on any freelance stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Or freelance people, like, yeah,
promoters
it's usually like once they find one DJ, they'll stick with them. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's just like, yeah, it's so for me, like, at the time I was like doing more music stuff with my own band, but then around the same time as that, I was starting to learn more about like the VR DJ scene, and I realized, okay, wait, I know how to DJ. I've been doing that for God knows how long, and yeah, just kind of just took it all. Well, decided to kind of just like so to deep dive into that, and that's kind of what kind of started giving me the motivation to kind of go out there again and like actually do IRL DJing as well.
Awesome. That's really sweet that it brought you back.
Will has that in common with you too. Starting on Twitch and then being hauled into VR chat by a certain box.
By a certain
yeah. So both of you actually have that in common, which is really interesting. But also, so it's the same in Ireland on your side, Will, where the clubs are kind of like they just get that single resident in there and then just like never budge. Is it the same?
Pretty much, no. The place where I work, we have basically a promoter / DJ. He has his crew. They come in every week. There's Evan, which is the main guy. Then there's Keith, Adam, Dor, which Dor has his own radio show as well. He's actually featured me on his radio. There's
I listened to that broadcast actually. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've asked him so many times, look, give me a slot. And he's like, play R&B music. I'm like, not my cup of tea. And he's like, okay, bye.
So where
Alice, I feel that.
yeah. So where Alice plays alternative, what kind of style do you play for those that don't know you?
I am a mix of everything. I basically started off with trance, classic trance. Then I kind of migrated down the spectrum to melodic house and techno. And I have been known on my good days to go as far as dubstep, maybe drum and bass, which is very rare. Very, very rare.
So are those styles for melodic and minimal, are those very popular in your area? It sounds like it's more R&B and hip-hop based, yeah?
It's more R&B and hip-hop based, yes. There's not many actual dance scene left in Ireland, which is unfortunate.
Really? I wouldn't expect that.
No, we used to have Planet Love back in the day. There was a Planet Love down in the Republic of Ireland, and then Northern Ireland had Planet Love as well, but that was before my legal age. So I never actually got the chance to go to them.
So it's really interesting to me that both of you have niches. Both of you have gone from RL into VR instead of the other way around. With the current situations with the dance scenes in your area, is there any advice that you could give DJs that are starting out and wanting to play live in the public? Is there any advice that you would give them to maybe get a spot?
Constantly record your mixes. Try and send them to promoters that will actually give you the time of day to even attempt to give you a chance. It's not easy. It is not easy. I've sent so many mixes towards nightclubs Now, I've sent mixes of melodic house and techno, trance. I've even done hard techno. No one actually replied to me. Not one, but one, which was back in November 23, and that was my own place that I work in.
Yeah. So Alice, you have actually headed up RL Venue over there. Is that what kind of inspired you to do your own thing because of the lack of ability to to get slots in the RL scene?
A little bit, yeah. I would say it was a little bit of a driving force, because got step, just stepping off. Is that the word? Was it kind of like continuing from where Will was saying, like sometimes you just gotta make your you gotta like do to try and get opportunities. You're gonna make your own opportunities sometimes. Like, and for me, that was like the case of essentially starting my own club, because I'd done DJ gigs and DJ spots here and there and whatnot, and I had a couple of regular places that I occasionally did, but it was like very like sometimes it was like few. They were very few and far between. But I think like that was the case to start making your own mixes, and I think like Twitch and like bedroom DJing as well as VR is a great place to kind of like start. Is a great opportunity to start that, especially as especially as you know you'll have a virtual crowd that you can kind of get feedback from, and then you can try. I'd say you can try and use those mixes and demos to send off to promoters and clubs. But then sometimes if it does get a little quiet, you do kind of just have to make your own opportunities. And for me, I had been doing like gig organizing for like years prior, so I pretty much knew what I was doing. I decided to make my own. I decided to start my own club, with that I decided to, but also within that I decided to kind of look at what was missing from the scene currently, because I live in Brighton as well, which is quite a popular city, student city, and also very like LGBT friendly and diverse. And one of the things I kind of noticed is that there is actually quite a few like alternative clubs and like rock and metal and things like that. But then I noticed a lot of people were going for like the more emo night route, because that was like what was really becoming popular. It's like kind of tapping into the millennial nostalgia, you could say. But and even myself, I've just I just got myself a little residency and a few events, because strict kind of like doing strictly emo night stuff. But yeah, like for me with my club Afterlife, I decided that I wanted to have a kind of branch out into the alternative umbrella. So rather than doing like the emo and metalcore things that like a lot of other clubs were doing, we decided to tap into the whole alternative umbrella and go from and like include rock and metal is still our forte, but we also wanted to branch into like the more alternative metal and like more electronic metal, as well as like go into like the goth side and like some of the new wave anthems, and then even some anime as well.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, sorry, I went on a tangent there, but
no, that's awesome.
Going back to my original thing, it was sometimes it's I think like
doing your own like mixes and bedroom stuff and things like that. And bedroom VR I think it's like a really good place to kind of get yourself and get the ball rolling and like start building up your own portfolio per se, and then you can try and use that to get into to tell people, but then you kind of to like promote to send off to promoters and organizers. Then sometimes if that does fall a bit flat, you've got to try and make your own opportunities. But then once people see that, they'll be a little bit more, almost kind of like was it a bit more receptive to you, if that makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because it sounds like on Will's side, like the receptivity is just kind of like not there because they're like, we got our person, they play the thing that we want them to play. So it's being able to have these virtual avenues, as well as like you said, it kind of opens you up and you can create your own scene, right? If there's not a scene in your area, or if people are too closed off and there isn't a place for you, you can always take that step and create your own, right?
that is true. That is true.
Definitely. Interesting. I'm so curious about the process of starting your own club. That seems like a daunting prospect.
So it was well, I will admit, like, especially for my club, we kind of just like I kind of did just, I got given a very decent opportunity, and I was like, okay, this is a lot more than I was planning to do, but I'd be stupid not to take this opportunity, because I started advertising on like Facebook groups and like for local based. And I was saying that and I pretty much put our concept and our idea out into the sphere and whatnot. And one thing I should say as well with my club Afterlife is, even though we have the music, we also love to bring in outside. We love to bring in like alternative entertainment. So we have like vocalists, drag queens, and we even had like cabaret. We even had like burlesque dancers at one of our events recently.
Awesome.
So I was given like an opportunity to work with a venue called Dust, and who were like the basement venue of a place called Chalk, which is in my area like one of the bigger live production houses. Like, a lot of touring bands coming through. You had like Electric Callboy, as well as Bambi Thug and War, to name a few, over the last couple of years.
Nice.
And so we were given this opportunity to work with them, and I will admit I was a little out of my depth, because even though I knew how to like stage manage and like I knew how to make things go smoothly throughout the night and keep in touch with like performers and the crowd and things like that, I had to basically like be told. I basically had to look into like, I was told that like, oh, okay, I've got to like actually get public liability insurance. I've got to do this. I've got to register for like a business and such. So I'd say for me, literally for me, I ended up doing I ended up like diving in the deep end for me. But it was like, okay, we've been given a good opportunity here. Be stupid not to do it. Okay, not to take it. But then we were there for like maybe 3 months, but then we decided that, okay, you know what, we're getting good feedback, we're getting great opportunities, and we've had like a good, we're starting to form a little community, but at the moment we're almost like punching above the belt a bit too much at the moment. So we did like a little Christmas special at a smaller local bar, and then we've kind of just like been taking a little bit quiet in the new year, where things are like a lot, when people aren't really going out as much. But we're looking to try and get back into we're looking to try and do some more quieter events, just so we don't have to worry about and stress about things, and then we could do like some proper and then hopefully we can do like some quarterly events or things like that where we start bringing in all the performers and like even doing band nights and things like that as well. But yeah, it's one of those things, like, especially for me, like I was quite experienced in it, in like organizing clubs and such, but even then, just like taking on this huge role was just taking on like this new experience, and something even bigger was like very daunting. Like, to put it into perspective, I had to sell for my VR peeps here, I had to sell my Quest Pro so I could fund the first night.
Oh my gosh. That's stressful. If money's that tight.
What sacrifices made.
No kidding.
So I assume, like, doing those smaller events, like you said, you had previous experience in running events and stuff, but now kind of going back to roots a little bit to have even more experience. When it comes to roots, I do have a big question for both of you. What inspired you guys to get into DJing in the first place?
For me, it was just the love of music.
You first, Will?
Basically, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. It's just there's a minor delay between VR chat and Discord.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I know what I'm gonna lie though. I'm like, just like talk immediately, and I'll just interrupt.
It's hard. It's unavoidable with VR CDN. We get close, but
Go ahead.
Basically, for me, it was just the love of music. I remember when I was 10 or 11, my mom had this big, massive briefcase of cassettes. Now, it used to have Dire Straits, Michael Jackson, Jackson Browne, a lot of them. Now, I'd be there for hours just listing them off one by one, but we'll just say there's about hundreds. And there was also my storytime tapes. Now, what I used to do with those storytime tapes when I got older was eat a bit of paper. Do you know the slot that you pull out or push in to break on the cassette to stop it from recording? If anyone remembers that.
I remember that. Yeah.
I used to take the piece of paper, stick it in there, sellotape over it, and voila. Free tape that I could re-record on. And I used to record Radio 1, dance sets, the after hours R&B, which back then I used to love R&B. And basically, when I got older, then I listened to a bit of dance, and I was like, I like this. Mind you, before that, I was actually big into heavy metal. I used to love Trivium, Bullet for My Valentine, etc., Avenged Sevenfold, you name it, Metallica. And after that, then I went to my cousin's house. Now, this is a different cousin to the guy that I went to start DJing, to learn on his decks. I used to just borrow his CDs, burn them onto or rip them to iTunes and load it on my iPod.
Awesome. And
my collection started there. After that, everything else, well, I'll still listen to rock and whatnot, but my main genre is anything electronic. Since about, I'd say I was 15.
And how many years now? I'm going to put you on the spot.
What?
How many years now? You said since you're 15, and we don't know how old you are, so how many years?
I'm 35, so 20 years.
There we go. 20 years. 20 years with a passionate love for music.
That's awesome.
That's phenomenal.
Doxing my age, huh?
Hey, listen, I'm like the keeper of VR chat, so don't even worry about it.
Technically, I'm doxing myself because Will Brosnan is actually short for my name. My name is actually Will Brosnan, as I already introduced myself. Like.
Yes. Alice, your roots.
Yeah, again, like probably. Honestly, I think it probably started like in like the metal, kind of like the metal scene and stuff like that, because I was going to gigs and things like that, and I was in the music scene, so yeah, that's kind of like where I started to get to know the local crowd and whatnot. But then, back in like 2013 now, I'm thinking, 2012, 2013, I'd say. Unfortunately, there wasn't really that many opportunities out there or club nights going on, sadly. So, what had happened is I found out like a local club had actually opened called Alta, and this was, and again around this time there was like barely any clubs, and at this point I was living back in my hometown of Mid Kent as well, so completely different to the like bubbly scene of Brighton. It was just very but yeah, basically I'd actually gone there, and at this point I wasn't doing anything music related, but I saw like I saw like the crowd and how interactive they were with each other, and I saw I got to know the DJs and the owner, and yeah, that's kind of like when I'd say probably April 2013 was when I did my first club slot. I think like beforehand in the previous year, I'd been more like messing around with my friends' playlists at parties and such like that. I got into, and then did my first club set, just like doing it opening and playing like some more industrial and alternative metal and such like that. I booked that in, and then like the next gig was like fucking MCM. Was it like, which was a giant, which was like, was it like, I think I went from something like 20, like maybe like 20 people to an opening slot to like the headline to like the last / headline slot of MCM with like Baby. Like talking about talking about the hundreds.
That's quite a jump.
It was, but no, like funny enough though, like that kind of that gig meant so much to me because because I was looking on stage and like, it was the previous DJ on before me, and I was like, I saw like how much they were getting involved with the crowd and like how crazy everyone was going, and it was just like, and it basically just told me that like, okay, yep, I need to step the fuck up right now.
So for you, it what really got you like hooked was the energy and the interaction from the crowd. That was what really did you in.
Yeah, but I was like, yeah.
Interesting. But you also
definitely say so. That's kind of cool.
You also do something that's a little different from most DJs. You will play guitar during your sets.
Yeah, so it was something I did try. I did try a couple of times, but I think unfortunately just haven't quite gone there. The technology isn't quite used to it, isn't quite there yet. But but saying that though, while I've not been doing it so much in my DJ sets anymore, I have also, on top of DJ sets though, I have been doing guitar concerts and broadcasting them into VR chat. So nice. Basically, I'll have a little similar setup to like what DJs are doing, and I'll have I'll have like my images and my VTuber model and such like that, like on the screen, and then I'll have my webcam instead of pointing at the decks, it'll be pointing at me playing guitar, and then I'll have another screen which actually shows the VR chat crowd inside.
Awesome. That's really cool.
That is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Seeing like a live concert like that is fascinating.
Yeah, it's funny enough. Like, we've been was it me and the Den We actually got a collab coming up in like a couple of weeks, which is going to be for my EP as well as my model re-debut. But I'm also doing like a full-on 3D concert with different DJs as well, playing throughout the night.
Cool.
And then like this is an interesting project because where my previous VR concerts have literally just been like my VTuber model kind of just standing still, like wobbling around. This is like going to be a full-on 3D concert.
Sweet. Are you going to use like a VRC Avi for it? Like
so like I'd say, if anything, I would say most of it like the visuals and such will be like pre-recorded. But for the music side, I'll be playing the guitars live still.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I have a friend who I was just talking with at one point who was going to do like a concert in VR, and they have a whole world that they had with guitars and everyking, like so that they could have a guitar on the Avi as they play. I think that's just an ingenious idea. It's really interesting.
Yeah, like I will admit, like I hate the name is blanking to me, but there's like this duo I've seen on TikTok, and what they actually do is like they're an acoustic, they're like an electroacoustic duo, and they actually both perform in VR. They both perform in VR, but like they have like their camera broadcasting into it, but like they'll do vocals and guitars live. But then how they do that is like they have like the Quest 3 and they have the Quest 3 pass through, such so they can still see themselves playing the guitars and everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that.
I've even seen like a few other couple of beats like drummers and like I've even seen a few other people like drummers and pianists rather, just like doing live streams, and they will be playing their instruments, but they'll be kind of like broadcasting it as well.
Yeah, makes sense. And the Quest 3 pass-through is surprisingly good enough for a lot of that. I was surprised when I first messed around. Like you can just walk around your house. Like it's directly related, but like it's fascinating. VR tech is.
I do need to get one. Like I said, after I sold my Quest Pro, unfortunately I am on Potato headset Quest 1 at the moment.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Still works.
Yes.
I'm on nothing right now.
Just about.
But Will, you have.
I was gonna say once I get mine, you can have my headset if you want.
There you go.
You have also dabbled into production, and recently you've sent me some works in progress that are very interesting. So that love of music has spawned into more than just DJing.
It has.
Yeah. I was wanting to open up to see if anybody had any questions on the tips and tricks side. Will has decided that he's willing to show us a bit of what you can do.
Yes.
If anybody has any questions.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. I mean, I think I'm always interested in equipment and any tips and tricks and particular, if you have a signature move, so to speak.
I know what that is. I know what it is. I'm not going to say anything, but I know what it is.
Wait, what is it? Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to show us some of the signatures.
Oh, there's only one signature, and that is double.
Let me turn on stream audio. I can't hear stream audio at the moment. I'm not sure if that's just me, though.
I was going to say I can't hear anything at the moment.
We can hear it on our side.
Oh no!
I think you'd have to join his stream on your side to be able to.
The stream.
I can hear. I can hear.
I'm a dummy.
I can hear you.
You can only hear me.
We got there.
Oh yeah,
We got there. We got there. We're good.
Because I was why I gone silent. It was like, oh, was I meant to answer something?
no, it's just me figuring out audio.
Hashtag creative life. Got audio.
Yeah.
Now, Will has taught a few people I know quite a few things and helped them get started in DJing.
Did I just disconnect or something?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
That was probably me. Sorry. Audio got
You're okay, Louis. You're okay. Oh. Okay.
I was not in.
It works though.
Really?
You did. And I guess that's something to point out
My
for
drink, which is in
people
the fireplace.
who are starting out, right? Sometimes it's happy accidents.
That is true. That is true. Now you're going to hear me queuing now as well. Where's that off?
So we're hearing what you're hearing.
Yeah. Where's that off? Very good French artist as well, by the way.
So some of the effects that you're using typically aren't used.
That is true. And if you haven't noticed as well, I don't mix it. I do not do that.
Interesting.
Do you preview your tracks, and that's how you decide? So you just have that thing where you listen to one and then the other, and you're like, yes, these two match?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about harmonic mixing recently, so mixing in key. But you are able to match two tracks together without doing harmonic mixing.
Yeah. This is not.
And would you say that just kind of comes in time with listening to a lot of music and starting DJing, that you just kind of get a thing where you start knowing what will work together?
Yeah.
It's just a time thing.
Yeah. But as long as you know how to count beats, like 4 beats in a bar, 8 bars in a portion of a track, like every 8 bars, a portion of the music does change, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not from basic, you know. 125. I was going to play a good track by him, but that is actually 127, so not really viable for Edu.
Now, some songs, obviously, it works if you increase or lower BPM, but some of them it'll just wreck the track, even just a little bit. Yeah. Alice, when you're DJing alternative music, how do you, because I know with like the varying drums and you know all the time changes and everything that can occur in the tracks, do you have any advice on how to mix those genres of music? I mean, metal can be so complicated to kind of find that space.
Where was it? Yeah, so when it comes to like more alternative DJing and whatnot, it's honestly it's more about like the vibes and I'm not gonna lie, I hate using that word, but it makes sense. But yeah, it's more like about the I kind of hate that word, but it's also just like the most accurate word for it.
Yeah, I mean it works, right?
But yeah, it's so when it comes to like metal DJing and such like that, and alternative DJing is more about the atmosphere and selecting the tracks like based off of your crowd and such. And yeah, unfortunately in VR I think in VR it is very hard to read a crowd, because we are all kind of just we are real just avatars and whatnot, and everything else going on with it. But I'd say like at least IRL, I can tell if I've played. I can look at the crowd and see if they're enjoying what I'm laying down, and if they're enjoying the atmosphere, like if they appreciate the heavy stuff, or if they want to go for if they're feeling a little bit tired and such like that, and if they're feeling tired, I'll throw on like a little bit more of a calmer track or something like a bit more sing along. That's still a bit of sing along, so you can still hang out and whatnot. But yeah, so as a alternative DJ, I would definitely say it is definitely more about the atmosphere, and almost kind of like, you could say almost like a bit like the journey in your DJ set. Rather than like actually trying to beat match and such. But then you do get DJs like myself who do actually like to try and do more mashups. For myself, I usually do advertise myself as more of a mashup DJ, because what I like to do is I like to play songs, but I would like to take vocals or like melody, or like sometimes melodies or something like that from other tracks and like blend them in. So into the next track. So it kind of just makes so it kind of just goes. So it doesn't sound like you're just listening to a random playlist on Spotify.
Yeah, that's really neat, Alice, that you add like that extra flavor, because you oftentimes run into a situation with, at least from what I've heard, that especially in the beginning, it's difficult for DJs who play something outside of electronic music to be able to find like a sweet spot or how to make it their own, rather than just doing a transition. Right. So, knowing that you can take these different parts of what you love and put it together to create your own version, basically, of the songs. I think that's really amazing. Yeah, well,
there's also, if you're mixing metal or something, if you're running record box or something, you can't use the regular BPM or beat matching. You actually have to go into dynamic mode. It's called.
That's a very good point, because and that's due to all the time changes, right?
Time changes, and if you're playing like heavy metal, there's also double bass. So it's I've noticed.
Yeah, I tend to find I tend to find like myself. I tend to find myself like I'll. There's some songs I've had which, like you said, they've just had like sometimes the BPMs of them will change, or it'll go like it'll just like change all over, and it's like unfortunately it's kind of a little impossible to it's kind of a little impossible to like mix some certain things, but for me, like I'll try at least. That's why I usually like stay more with the vocal. I'll like try and blend in more vocals and such, which most of like alternative songs, that's what people kind of like remember from those songs. So it kind of it matches and helps, rather than like with like house and drum bass and such like that, just playing stuff on top of each other.
Yeah. You're right. The vocals definitely do pop out and make a more memorable set, as opposed to just like straight neurofunk for an hour or whatever. Right? Like
exactly. And even myself, like like for myself, I'd say I've probably got a little bit of a interesting setup. I use something called DJ Pro, spelled DJAY, which is which is like an Apple-based product. But then I've also got these special decks which allow me like to plug my iPad into them, so I can control my iPad using decks instead. It's almost kind of like the equivalent of a laptop. It's kind of almost like, instead of using a laptop or computer, using like a instead of using a laptop or computer, it's like I'm using like an iPad with like a deck plugged into it.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
That's
but
really cool.
thankfully with that program though, like it has so many different features, and it also allows me to like do 4 decks. But it allows me to like do 4 decks spinning as well, so I don't have to worry too much about like faffing around or like getting extra controllers and things like that in.
No, it's not boring at all. I'm really interested in seeing like setups and hearing about them. Every DJ has their own little quirks to their setup, especially when it comes to VR
like
DJing.
that. Yeah, like it's a really personalized like thing. It's so interesting to me. It's even with the way people route their sound, what they're doing for their visuals, everything. Like everyone has their very own unique like way, and it always has its own quirks, right? I wanted to open up for questions for Will on what he was doing while he was showing us these tracks. Your hands were very busy, Will. Tell us what they were doing.
Basically, I was out of effects. Like I was at the dub echo. You're really putting me on the spot right now.
I know. It's a secret sauce. Give it up.
I'm very fascinated with dub echo. I like to tighten it. I like to loosen it. I like to extend it. But putting a dub echo, and sometimes if you actually use what's it called? Transpose, it sounds amazing. It actually sounds amazing.
Some of those, because at no point did your effects sound overdone. I was actually listening to a mix earlier today, and someone closed out, and this is nobody we know, and I'm not going to mention any names of who this person was. It was a YouTube set, but like they closed out their set writing reverb over a Bob Marley track for their close. That was, they just wrote it all the way through. How do you get to a point, like any advice on how to use so many effects like you do to basically like almost accentuate without like overwriting the tracks, because I know it's very tempting, especially when you're first starting out, because it sounds so cool, and then you just want to do it all the time. And yes, tell us how you manage that. How do you make it
how do I make it what?
Subtle?
Time and practice. Now, I have recorded, even before I started doing proper streams, or, well, technically, I didn't do any background checks. It was just driving into streaming, even with the 800. No. It is pretty much more or less practice makes perfect. When it comes to effects, there is a certain overkill on it. Like, too much flanger, like 32 ripped right to the max. It does not sound good. It does not sound good unless you're playing some of the harder styles like hard techno, drum and bass, not drum and bass as such, but dubstep. Now, those genres are actually built for throw it in there fucking flange, to be fair. It just depends on the genre. I think that's just my own opinion. Now, you can shoot me down on that if you want to, but that's just the way I think.
No, that makes sense. I've definitely seen a lot of like different genres cater to different styles of, and that's something that I've been trying to learn slowly. I kind of went all in on one genre and then have been trying to branch out into others and realize, well, they don't always work the same. You have to do different things. That's interesting. I'm curious about maybe any insights you have there, either of you.
Yeah, for me, like, and then kind of following on from that, like with myself, like, thankfully for me, I freaking love electronic metal, and like I love remixes and covers and mashups and whatnot of metal tracks as well. So like even at times I'll take like a track that and maybe sometimes I'll like change the key of it, or like put it or the tempo sometimes, or adjust like an effect, or put like a new effect on it, and essentially change it up. Like one of the songs I love doing at the moment, and was I it kind of came across it by accident was Animals by Architects, and if you heard the song beforehand, you'll know that it's it's kind of quite a slow drivey song. It's like dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's like very slow tempo and very for me like and I again found this by accident. I ended up was it doubling like the tempo to going up to like 150 BPM and whatnot and I ended up playing it and it was just like oh fuck, this actually goes super hard. This actually sounds amazing. So yeah, but again, I think what we were saying was like sometimes you get like happy, sometimes you do just find like having accidents, but then like a lot of the other times it is just practicing and messing around with things, seeing what does and doesn't work, and whatnot, and then just kind of like branching out from there. Really, it's just all about experimentation.
Yeah, makes sense.
Happy accidents are good accidents.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
How about you, Will? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
I'm pretty much agreeing with Alice on that one.
Yeah, fair enough.
And
Awesome.
play around, see what happens, see what sounds good to you. And not everything works for every genre. Seeing how the different genres actually work out. Play around with it, find out. As we're getting to close here, I wanted to open up for anybody who has any questions, and also where we can catch up with you guys and what you're doing. Well, I know that you have a broadcast that's going to be airing. Would you like to let us know where we can catch that? And also, you have an RL gig in Paris as well.
Yes. The IRL gig is actually still in the works, but basically a friend.
I hope I didn't let anything out of the bag.
No, you didn't.
Okay, good.
Basically, a friend that I used to work with, he's French.
Spoilers.
A DJ himself. He's more of vinyl than I am, but ultimately, I do want to get into vinyl too. But he's trying to set up a remembrance gig for the Bataclan, which was what happened in France a couple of years ago. The Charlie Hebdo thing.
Yeah.
So he's trying to set something up for that. He's got me on the books for it. I'm happily going to travel over.
So date to be announced.
Date to be yes.
And the radio broadcast.
Yes, sorry. My mind went blank there for a second. I'm going to be jumping on the radio on Spin Southwest here in Ireland soon enough. So I'm going to record that on my laptop because I'm going to be live in the studio. I'm going to have my laptop. I'll be streaming that over my Twitch channel, hopefully, as long as it still goes ahead.
So they can if they want to tune in for that broadcast, you will have it available on your Twitch.
Yes, which is twitch.tv/William Brosnan 90. I nearly used my old name. It's been so long.
It is late on your side. It is late on your side. We will also be posting up in the den for further information when those broadcasts go live.
Yes.
Alice. Go ahead. Sorry. Latency.
No, you're fine.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. And any other gigs that actually do come up, I will be posting up on Twitch. I'll be posting up on Discord, possibly even Instagram, everywhere that I'm actually on. Twitter. Well,
because that's what DJs need to do. Which, if you want to learn more about your branding and stuff, perfect segue, shameless promotion. MBEC's DJ class will help you to learn all of that and how to manage all of that social stuff. Alice, you've got all the things coming up this month.
Yeah. So this is quite a big month for me. So like, as well as like DJing and music, I'm like a VTuber as well. I do variety streams on Twitch and such. And then coming up this month, is going to be very busy one, because I've got my re-debut, presenting a new model, and starting to do regular VTubing and variety streams as well. But then on the music side of things, I've got my upcoming EP, Artificial Nightmares, that's coming out within the next couple of weeks.
Exciting.
Date for that will be date for that will be set in place soon. And then accompanying that will be another music video, which will also kind of bring this kind of like this little storyline chapter I've been teasing in my other music videos for a while. And then and then following after that is going to be the 3D concert, re-debut Made to Kill, which will be releasing a YouTube version of, but then on the 19th of April, we're going to be part of a big collab with the Den, Sinks, Delirium, and Ministry Promotions and Zoom there. And that's going to be we're going to be doing like a big party. We're going to be doing like a big event with different DJs, and then also I'm going to be playing the 3D concert, but I'll be doing the live guitar. I'll be doing live guitars for it as well.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that one.
And then after that it's just going to be streaming. But then in May I'm going to be back on the IRL side of things. In May I'm going to be doing like actual IRL concerts with my VTuber. Kind of like I'll be doing like actual VTuber concerts.
Cool.
Very similar to Vocaloid.
Yeah.
Like the Hatsune Miku concert and Hatsune Miku concerts, you see.
That sounds really interesting. Excited to see that.
It's coming together slowly but surely.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm so curious about what the planning for that is, but then we'll have to save that for a future conversation.
Yeah.
Lots to cover there.
Yeah, very. Yeah, but there's lots of shenanigans coming up this month, to say the least. But if anybody wants to check them out, all my socials are AliceIsAlive VT. Like I mainly stream on Twitch, as well as like create short contents and skits and things like that on TikTok, and then and YouTube. And then all my socials, like Twitter and whatnot, all under the same name, AliceIsAlive VT.
Beautiful. Thank you both so much for coming in. I know that it's Foxy mentioned this, so I didn't think about it. It's super late for both of you, so appreciate that.
Yes.
I've got two moods. It's like across the pond at like 2 a.m. for us.
Yeah.
I've only got two. It's like I've only got two moods. Like sleep is for the weak, and being awake is overrated.
That's reasonable. I resonate deeply with that.
Yes.
No, I may say I'm going to be getting off here like in a few minutes, and I'm just wide awake in front of the computer. But
I will probably be going to sleep more or less after this as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, both of you. This was our first time.
On the bright side, though, I think that's the beauty of VR.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I think that's the beauty of VR, though, especially like because like where we are literally at home, was it rather like obviously like if this was like a IRL interview or like and such like that, I'd have to travel all the way over to the studios and get set up and everything like that. It's whole thing. Whereas with was it the beauty of VR is can literally can literally set things up like this really easily and literally just shove a headset on and let's go.
Yeah, I mean, being able to interface with people all over the world, and then technology of being able to set up. We have people in Discord, people here, just the whole game.
Mate, and even like the VR, and even like the VR club thing. I think that is just that's one of the huge appeals for it as well. Like for those who unfortunately don't have can't get out or or unfortunately they can't actually do IRL stuff, or like they have problems, or like they're just due to their situation they're not able to interact IRL. At least they have like that interactive platform.
Yes,
100%, 100%.
But yeah, that's conversation for another time anyway.
Today's interview with and Q&A session with you two is our first time ever having back-to-back. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely did. It's been a phenomenal chat. And I would just want to say thank you very much.
Anytime.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
It's been wonderful. Awesome. Well, thank everybody for coming. Appreciate you. See you next week, I'm sure. We'll be around, and I'm really interested to see what both of you are cooking up. That'll be great.
Yep.
Awesome.
All the things.
All the things. Yes.
All the things. All the things. All the things and a cup of tea for well.
Okay. Perfect.
Beautiful. Cool. Alrighty.